So, yeah, man. What have you been up to?
Well, it's a difficult question. In the last 2-3 years, I don't know. Well, you want to tell? You want me to tell my story?
No. Well, you know what? Actually, let's just do it this way. First of all, you've been in Spain.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just like, you just got back from Spain.
Yeah.
I've missed you. You know, I've been in and out of town myself, but coming back, and you just got back from Spain when?
Yeah. Yeah. I started a new life there.
Yeah.
I mean, a second life.
Really?
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Because I needed a change or something. So.
You had to get out of here.
Yeah, and it was in my mind like for 10, 15 years ago when my friend went to the countryside to a ranch. He was a musician also. And hi Peter, his name was Müller Peter.
Okay.
You know? And he went to the countryside, and you know he was just answering the public phone every day, like 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't have a phone. So if you wanted to reach him, you had to call the village's public phone. He was there in every day from 10 to half past 10.
And he was living in the place you ended up moving into?
No. He was living in Hungary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a ranch in Hungary.
Okay, gotcha.
But I had the idea that what a cool thing, you know, in the middle of your career or your life, you just change and you go to a little pueblo and start over again. And I had this image in my head for a long time. But I never had the opportunity. I was always touring with the bands and always having lots of business to do, and never had a chance and never didn't know where to go, you know, in Hungary or whatever. But then it was just by accident. Somebody came and he just told me that let's go to that place. Let's visit. It's a fantastic place. It's in Andalusia, in Granada, up in the mountains, a little village. So, and it's like kind of an artist village. So when I went there, I just in the first time I knew I will have a life.
You loved
here.
it.
Yeah.
Is it a small population, or how many people?
Yeah, it was like I'm the 24th people in the village.
Oh, that's small.
Yeah, that's fucking small. I mean the standard, you know, the people who are always there.
Gotcha.
Like 24.
24.
When vacations and fiestas or something, you know, all the families and the kids come into the town, and so they celebrate and everything. So that it's like 100 people, but basically there's like 24 people in the village all the time.
Gotcha. Wow, man, that's
it's really
a big.
small. But all the people are artists, like video artists, visual artists, painters, or musicians. There's a Grammy Award winner, sound engineer in the village. There's a bass player. There's a percussionist. So. DJ, so we have all kind of musicians and everybody.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, what a great place to hang out then. For
Yeah. It's basically it's all about art and music and fun.
Okay. Very
if you have money, you know, you don't have to work all day to get money.
Gotcha. So most of the people there are able to have something to support themselves in that space then.
But actually that place is really cheap.
Okay.
I mean that part of Spain is really cheap. So you don't need really much money to live.
Okay.
And it's easy to get work too. I mean physical work. Basically everybody's like repairing their houses and doing stuff like that. So there's always work, you know, you can, if you want to work, but people don't really like to work there, you know, like they're a bit lazy, I think. They like to sit in the bars and just think about the future and say big things and philosophical things. So,
right, kind of saying they do big things, but not really doing
and
big things.
They're really cool. And, you know, they say mañana, which is
tomorrow.
Really true, you know, if you want to get something done, you cannot rush it. You know, if you're starting rushing it, you just go end up crazy because they're not rushing things.
Okay.
Just, tomorrow. Okay, we'll do it next week. And sometimes it happens. Just, you know,
gotcha,
accidentally.
Wow. And how long were you there for?
Well, I went there 2 years ago the first time.
Okay.
And then I started going back, and then I found a beautiful house there, and then I started to really go there and really stay there. So all together like 1.5 year, I think. One and a half year.
Very cool, man. Man, you know, you're a musician. I mean, I guess whoever's listening to this podcast right now probably doesn't know the history of the show. I introduced you as a drummer.
Yeah.
You've been a drummer a long time. You started drums.
When I was 14.
14 years old.
Yeah.
And did you have a band back then as a kid?
Yeah, I started with my schoolmates.
Okay.
We had a band with a piano and a big double bass and drums.
Okay.
And we started playing Beatles bands like that, jazz music and stuff like that. And then I started to change bands. I go all these phases. Started to playing blues music,
Okay.
and then started to play punk music. I think that was the start of my underground career when I started to play punk.
Oh, okay.
Because after that, I finished my schools in a postás school. I don't know, many musicians know this. And then I started to play punk music, and then underground, which
Okay.
is kind of mix of everything, but a little strange way.
Okay, so basically underground music for the most part, playing with bands, playing in bars and clubs, and doing your thing in that space.
Yeah. But I didn't play in too much bands though. That was the beginning. It was the beginning, kind of getting my, trying to find my path.
Okay.
And that's why I tried to play all kind of music. Even I had a duo with a jazz guitarist called Mickey, and we had like jazz duo. But it was like just trying all the things, and then I find this punk music, and then after that I stopped at grunge music, and then I started the band,
An
the
actual
grunge
band
music.
itself. Okay.
And that was for a longer period.
Well, you were playing in one of the, I guess, it's one of the most known bands here in Hungary for a long time. And how did you get from playing from, grunge music or what do you say, punk music, into playing more like pop? How did you get to that transition?
It's punk music is very intense. Punk music is very kind of. You have to really work hard to play the drums, and it's a kind of attitude also. We went to around the city to like houses. Even we played in I think in this street there was a house, and we just broke in and started to play like.
Broke in.
Yeah, just broke into the house and just started to play like a flash mob things. But in that time there were no bars and there was no flash mob. It was like 30 years ago.
Okay.
So
I'm just trying to figure out how you literally like broke into a house.
Yeah. We just broke into the house.
Nobody was living there.
We know that there was nobody in the house,
Gotcha.
so that's why we can do it. But and after that, usually the police came, and they said, okay, go home, blah blah blah. But we didn't steal anything. We just take the instruments, get electricity somewhere, and made parties. Yeah, but it was, and also we made parties in Moscow Square before now it's called. Not Moscow Square. Not what's the name of the?
Salman. Common something, right? No,
I forgot. I wanted to say it in the first time, but Szélkámon tér, yeah.
That's it. Yes.
We just bring out the instruments and all the gear and the drum set and everything, and we just started to play. We got electricity from the flower shop, and then we just started to play, and we had like big parties. And then after punk music, I wanted to make this energy, but I really liked the funk. I liked the funk music and
Gotcha.
R&B and rock music and all other kind of styles. So I kind of find the grunge music then, and kind of mix all these styles, but in a hard way, like with hard electric guitars and stuff like that, but still have the funk in it and all other kind of things. And after this grunge period, I was with a band called Publo Hunny. And then after that,
Publo Hunny. What kind of band was that?
It was a grunge.
Grunge as well.
Grunge
Okay,
band.
gotcha.
Yeah, that was the end of my grunge era.
Okay.
After that, because we had like gigs really intense and.
And was this in the 80s or the 90s or when was this?
Yeah, we started in 1994.
94. Okay.
And basically the band was like for 5 years and then split up.
And
we had really big success, and we were on MTV and stuff
really?
like that. Yeah,
now
we
was
won
this
prizes.
And was this a band that had a lead vocalist as well?
Yeah, we had the.
And did you guys sing mostly in Hungarian, or did you?
We invented a new language, which is now really popular and nobody knows. But we invented Hunglish at the first time. So
Really?
we kind of mixed the Hungarian with English.
Oh, okay.
And in that time, nobody knew what's that. So we were popular in Hungary, but we wanted to go to abroad, but everybody was just laughing at us.
Okay.
What's this English? What the fuck is that, man? Stop learning English.
we only understand half your lyrics. So.
Yeah. So we went to New York on the top of Warner Brothers, and there was an executive girl, and she said, that's really cool. I like the songs, but you have to change the lyrics and the accent, and then we can start
with this band.
With this band, yeah.
Oh wow! So I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and we were in a Cannes Festival.
Cannes Film Festival, yeah.
We won best
I played that. Yeah.
best from MCM Television, which was the French television, and we won second prize. The first prize was Daft Punk, and the second was with the best digital
electronic.
No, video clips. Like not digital, graphics,
okay.
3D graphics video clips.
Okay.
And by that time, the 3D graphics were not in the market. You can do 3D graphics.
So you did 3D graphics within the live show, or 3D
no,
graphics
we just made a video.
A music video.
Yeah, music video with 3D graphics.
Got it.
And at that time, it was like 1 year of making, and everybody was like counting with big computers and everything. And the Daft Punk had that video, which were like. They go up and down.
Right.
So that one was the first prize, and we were the second. And we had the presentation together and all that stuff. So it was really fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I never knew this.
Yeah, we were really trying.
Wow. Okay. And how long did that band last for?
That's about 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, about 5, 6 years.
Get the fuck out of here! I had no idea.
Yeah,
and were you like? Did you put the band together, or was it just a group of you guys that did?
I didn't put together. I never put together a band. We just met. I know the singer Publo before, and then he introduced to the other guys,
Gotcha.
and we just started to doing things. Back then, it was not about money, not about fame. It was just like having fun.
Gotcha. And then after that, you kind of like,
So that was really intense. What
Okay.
I wanted to say.
Okay.
And it was really hard playing drums because like really hard beats and fast beats and like we were really putting energy on the stage and stuff like that. So I had like kind of enough of these strong thingies. So sorry, what was the question?
So you kind of so that band lasted as long as it could until you got tired
2001,
of it.
2002.
Oh wow, that's when I actually started coming to Hungary.
2002, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So then, so the Carbonfools.
We worked with Butchwig from Garbage.
Okay.
We went to we sent the tracks and everything. He was mixing our albums. We sent it to Smart Studios in the US.
Okay.
So we really had good progress there.
Wow. Very cool, man. And then
Signed to EMI.
Signed to EMI as well.
EMI and Warner Brothers, yeah, and then it was cool.
Was that the first time that you actually, because you owned a record company, or you actually probably still own a record company, one of the largest record companies, I must say, in Hungary.
But
that record company didn't live at that time, right?
Yeah, it did. It was because when we started this Publo Hunny band,
okay.
we needed a record label, and then I hooked up with Peter Dirge, who was at that time the manager of Sex Appeal. And then
Sex Appeal?
Sex Appeal, yeah, it was a Hungarian band, underground band, and he made big progresses. He had like really good connections abroad and international wise, and we figured that we need a label to release our albums, but we wanted to make a label deal with Warner Brothers. So we were working like for 1 year on that, and finally made it. So we had a exclusive label deal with Warner Brothers. So we start our label in 1996.
So wait a minute, you're saying you had an exclusive deal in Hungary, so nobody else could actually have a deal with them exclusively, a label deal that no other company could go to them for distribution in Hungary.
Well, they could. We had a label deal with the Hungarian Warner Brothers, so it was not the international big.
Okay.
Company. It was,
but
it's the same
right.
company. Yeah.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
In other words, if it was exclusive, then that means that no other side company that was not you guys could actually do distribution through them?
No, it was that would be nice, but it was exclusive in our side. So we had like a contract. So
I
see. I could not work with anybody else.
Okay.
I could not work with any other bands. Okay. I could not sign bands without their permission. But also they were like financing the project.
I understand. So they were doing distribution for you.
Distribution, promotion,
marketing.
Radio promotion, marketing, and they were like financing the manufacturing of the CDs and all that stuff.
Did it feel like a fair deal to you?
No, it was not fair.
It was not fair at all. Okay, but you didn't know that going in because you didn't know about the business.
We were like you.
Right.
We were new in the business.
Exactly.
We didn't know what will bring. You know,
right.
we didn't even know that it will become that like this big success. You know, we didn't know at the moment. So we were just like happy to sign something.
Right on.
And after that, I was trying to change the contract and everything, but they were like fucking strict and they didn't want to change anything.
Okay. After you figured it out.
Yeah,
right?
and the boss was a fucking asshole also.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
And so so then once you did that record deal, and then you started releasing records and having a bit of success, at least you got a chance to travel. You went to Cannes, you went to New York, you went to various places. So it wasn't all bad, right?
No,
I mean,
it
so it was cool.
at all.
How did
we went to South by Southwest like 2 times.
Oh, in Austin, Texas.
In Austin, Texas, yeah.
That's a great gig. I did that myself once or twice. Yeah,
it's
that's
a nice
an awesome place. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. So then you bounced on to, how did you get out of that deal then?
Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, we got lucky. You know, they fucking doing, in the Hungarian part of Warner Brothers, they were doing like messy deals.
Okay.
Like not really, I don't know, they were like changing the company, all that stuff. And then they wanted to close the company.
Okay.
Because they want the Hungarian company, they wanted to close it. So, and I had in my contract that they cannot take the contract to another company. You know, it was for only that company. So they, basically, for 1 year they couldn't close it because they had to make an agreement with me.
So you were not. So
I was lucky.
You weren't as actually
because probably they wouldn't give my catalog back if they don't need to close the company. They
but you were
like
smart
go to court and stuff like
for
that.
somebody that didn't know anything about the music business or about signing record companies. How did you know to come up with at least a byline in your contract that said that? How did you know that?
Well, I think that was Peter's, my partner at the time, and he made that contract at that time. So he had, we didn't want to. We knew that they could sell us in any time, and we didn't want that. So we had a kind of thing in the contract that they cannot sell us to third party.
Got it.
And they had to get our permission.
Gotcha.
And they were thinking that I will sign the permission like us dumb people and stuff like that. And I realized that they really want to close the company. I checked it, and they come to me, I want to close the company. Let's solve this problem. So then, basically we solved the problem. I give some of my artists to them, like Heaven Street 7. We had all the catalog with Heaven Street 7. Yeah. So they said the deal is that if you give us Heaven Street 7 catalog, then you can keep the rest.
I know those guys.
Yeah.
I met those guys in Kapelsvaar.
Yeah, they're nice guys.
Yeah. They're out of Kapelsvaar, right? Or somewhere. Aren't they out of... Yeah, they're out of Kapelsvaar.
No, they're... they're...
Maybe they're not. I don't know. I thought they were.
From Dunaújváros and Paks.
I met them.
It depends. They're locally in Budapest also.
Okay. Interesting. So, wow. Man, so you got out of that deal.
Yeah.
And then that's when you decided to make your...
I wanted a catalog. And I also started the hip-hop scene with gangster rappers. I started with Fekete Vonat and Dope Man.
What was the name of your record company?
TKO. What
was the name of the record company at the
1G Records?
The same company.
Yeah, the same company.
Okay, so you were with Warner Brothers, got out of that contract, move over, and now you're a record company standing on its own.
Now, yeah,
independent.
And that time I started to go independent.
Okay,
and then.
And when you say Peter wasn't with you any longer? Or?
No, all the other guys in the company left. Yeah, basically, or left, or I buy them out.
Got it.
Because they didn't, this record business in that time, when you have good sales of CDs, then it's cool. But we didn't get good money from the CDs because Warner Brothers took it. Warner Music take the most of our money, so we didn't have too much money in terms of production and all that stuff. So it was struggle.
Okay.
It was struggle. And there were like four CEOs, owners of the company, and then one of the guy was from a bank. He didn't really care. He wanted just money. But in the first 3 years, he didn't get no money. So he said, I want to go out. This is a shit business. Blah blah blah. So we buy him out. And then another guy was the producer, music producer, Viktor Laszlo, and he was not capable of doing business really. He's really an artist person. So we buy him out. He got a studio, and then we stayed with Peter. And then Peter got a job in EMI, and he was the head of EMI publishing for Hungary. And he said, "Do you want to do that because it's a fixed job? You don't have to struggle every day." So he left the company too, and I bought him out. And then I did the company. From that time, I was all alone.
Wow.
All the way, yeah.
And you didn't think like, dude, I'm not going to do this. I got to do something else entirely.
No, it was like everyday thing in that time. I'm thinking different now, but in that time I was really into it. I didn't have if something went bad, I just started a new project and then just to move further and further. So
wow,
there was no stopping.
So let's see. So then after that, then what was the next step after you?
Then the next step was belga.
What is that?
Belga.
What is that?
Belga. Egy-két I don't know. As a boy, you don't know belga?
No.
It's one of the famous band in Hungary. It's
It's a band.
It's a band. It's a three-piece hip hop band. Belga. They have strange lyrics, kind of funny lyrics. They're not really a hip hop band, but not a rap band.
How did you get into hip hop?
I had always two sides, or three sides actually. One is underground, one is pop, and one is hip hop.
I didn't know
rap.
that. I had no idea.
I love hip hop and rap also.
Huh. Yeah. So
I even played in a band with Sub-Bass Monster.
Sub-Bass Monster.
Yeah. I was the drummer for Sub-Bass Monster.
Yes. He's a famous hip hop artist here.
Yeah. I was his manager. When he broke into the market.
I was always wondering why his English was so good, and I found out that he actually lived in Orange County. He lived in L.A. for a bit.
Sub-Bass Monster.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I'm thinking somebody else.
Yeah.
No. He doesn't speak any English. Yeah. Actually. I didn't. Unless he learned recently, he wasn't speaking back in the day. I'm sorry, wrong guy. So basically, you were looking for artists to have on your record label. Was that the goal?
Yeah, and I was looking for artists for the record label, and I was the E&R person. I really have a good nose for that, and but to tell you the truth, when we were with Warner Brothers, I went to South by Southwest Festival, which I told you 2 times. But when I came back, the guy was in charge of management. He was like trying to steal the artist, and basically he made it. So he made a couple of artists to sign directly with Warner Brothers. So I was in the bottom at that time when I come from Warner Brothers. You know, we sold like 200,000 CDs a year. So it was not going bad. But we didn't get money because they took it.
They took it all.
And so I was struggling. I was asking for money from my mother, and I was thinking, fuck, what is that? And we had like all successes on the charts, all the albums and everything. So we break up, and then I was in the bottom. And then Belga, this band, come to me, and we started I started to release Belga's albums, and it was really cool. In that time, all the albums went gold and platinum and everything.
Yeah, but how do you go from leaving a distribution company, right, and then all of a sudden you hire a band, and now this band you're starting to market, you're trying to promote, you're trying to release albums. How do you? But out of your trunk? I mean, how did you do it?
I did all that thing before also.
Okay,
so it was not new to me. The difference was that I had to finance everything from that time.
So what did EMI do? What did Warner Brothers do then? If they were, what did they come to the table for?
Well, they were financing the marketing, the promotion.
So they were giving you the money for it?
Yeah, giving for the money, and I organized the campaigns.
And you were doing the process, okay.
Yeah, and they were manufacturing the CDs, and I got a percentage from the sales.
Okay, so that's basically all they were doing, was handing you the money to handle the promotion, to handle that process.
Yeah.
Okay, because
in the US I can use their channels. Also.
Okay, US is a bit different back in those days.
Yeah, I can use their channels. So we did it also with Fresh Fabric, which was really popular band at that moment, and we used their channels to release it in Czech Republic, in Australia, in Holland.
What's the name of that company?
Fresh Fabric.
And what is that? Is it a record company as well?
No, it's a band.
Oh, it's a band. Okay, Fresh Fabric. I'm getting so confused.
Fresh Fabric. It's a metal band.
Okay.
So we use their connection in terms of international, and we use their connection of distribution, promotion, radios, all that, in the way we could.
Gotcha. Wow, man. So that's what got you the knowledge, because you had to
I kind of
do that process in itself anyway.
Yeah,
and you being the person I know, man, you're like so meticulous about things, and you like to know everything there is in and out. You're like a lawyer, really. I mean, your mind. You have a manager's mind, a lawyer's mind, and a creative mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know it's crazy, and many people don't understand that. They cannot handle that, because sometimes the artist comes out from me, a good guy, a friend, and sometimes a fucking businessman, and that change people don't really like.
But
they basically think about record labels all the time like a cash machine and nothing else. They don't want, especially these days, if they sign for a label, they want contacts or distribution opportunities or money or whatever, but they don't want, you can do basically everything you want. You can do the promotion by yourself, and I learned all these phases,
right?
And that's cool, because then I could do it alone.
How many? What bands that became famous through your G Records? What bands started there as far as rap bands go?
Like Dope Man, MC Daki, TKO, which were Little Tyson, Kitchi Tyson. Like there was the hip hop side, Sub-Bass Monster. That was the hip hop side, and the underground side, what Publo, Hunny, Heaven Street 7, Publo, Hunny, Heaven Street 7, Nyers.
Oh my gosh! How many bands did you say you had?
I had like 150.
150 bands.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, 150 albums.
Albums.
One band had like two, 3 albums.
Oh,
maybe.
I see. But how many artists?
Like 150. Yeah.
Artists.
Artists. Yeah.
Wow. And did word travel? Like, there's this record company that's signing artists, and you should climb up. Or were you guys doing A&R looking for artists yourself?
Oh, we didn't have to look.
They came
because
to you?
in that time there were no competition for us.
Okay.
We just like one of the independent label,
Got it.
first independent labels. So
And
we
you-
didn't have a competition, so everybody come to us.
Got it.
And if they wanted to have a record deal with Warner Brothers, they come to us also.
Oh, got it. Wow.
So
okay.
we just have to like pick.
Okay.
It was easy.
Okay.
And Hyper Karma was there also in that time, and all these bands. And after that, we had a new era. We had Super Nem. We have Belga. A lot. It's hard to.
It's just so many.
I don't
Wow.
want to miss out anybody.
No,
There was lots
yeah.
of bands.
Wow, that is crazy. So then, okay, you're wearing this executive hat, right? You're running a record company. You're doing marketing. You're doing all these different things.
Yeah.
How do you have time to be a musician and start like into another band? Like, how did you get? Okay, Carbonfools. I want to get to the point of Carbonfools. How did you go
I didn't
from
have.
that?
I didn't have a lot. I didn't have a life.
Yeah,
I didn't
know.
have a personal life, and that's my problem now because I never had the hobbies. I never had any extra things to do beside music, So I was always playing, touring, or partying, or sleeping, or working in a company. That was my thing. I didn't really had a private life, and that was really bad for my private life because I had that time I had a child born. 2001, I had a child born, and I couldn't be with her too many because I was playing in 2 bands and making the studio, and I always started just a studio at home. So that was a mistake, I think, in this. But nothing is a mistake, That's what I'm thinking. But I could do it better. But I wanted to do everything by myself because if you want to get something done, you have to do it by yourself.
100%.
That's my thinking because you ask somebody, maybe he does it or not. But I wanted the success. I wanted a hard success and money and all that thing. And
No plan B.
no, I had to do it.
100%. I totally understand, brother. I totally. So tell me, how did you meet Tito? Oh, Tito. I'm thinking Michael Jackson's brother.
I started to release
Well, I actually
this.
met a couple
I
times.
started to release Belga, and he was the DJ for Belga. He was in Belga, the
Got
band,
it.
and then he kind of knew me from that, and he knew that.
Was he a famous DJ at that point throughout Hungary or no?
Yeah, well, on an underground scale, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And he was there. They were starting a live act thingy, and with a sitar, and there was only a percussion at that time, and then a bass player came and a guitar player, and then I knew a guy called Jaja, and he invited me to join the band. But it was started as a fun. It was a hobby project because it was really a live act without singer. So it was instrumental. We didn't expect to go fucking famous because it's not that time of music. And so we started to do that, and we did it like for 8 years without a singer, or
8
9
years?
Yeah, kind of 8, 9
So
years.
you and Tito's been playing for 8 years.
Yeah,
with this-
without a singer, without
and what was that band called?
Carbonfools.
Oh, it was the Carbonfools.
Yeah,
at the
yeah. It
point.
was like Tito's and the Carbonfools in that time, and then he changed it to the Carbonfools.
Got it. And so he left the band that he was in, the other band that he was in. What was
No,
it?
he's still in it.
Oh, he was still in that
No,
band.
yeah, he's still getting the shares from the band. Yeah,
To this day.
yeah, to this day.
That's crazy. I had no idea. I didn't know there was a second band. All right, so then you started playing with that band, percussion, obviously, and then how did the process happen where you started adding new members and stuff?
Well, the band has a history, and it has changes. It had changes all the time, but not all the time. In the beginning, it was cool when we were like just playing live act thingy, and we didn't have like big success, big money, but we were okay. We played some festivals, and it was kind of new thing. But then after that, this wave just went out of style. This live act thingy, it was not that popular after a while, and we started losing the audience and stuff like that. So
Because you didn't have any actual music out, just you're doing live
no,
stuff.
we made one album.
Okay.
Poison Goulash.
At that time. Okay.
At that time,
Okay.
and it was out, and we had like featurings with singers.
Okay.
We have featuring from Harvesting 7, Christian, Peter Uivari from Up, and we have all kind of singers, and we did gigs with some featurings singers, but we didn't have a standard singer for all the time, and after 8 years we started to feel that we need a singer, because otherwise we cannot play, because we don't have an audience and no fan base and nothing. So we started looking for singers, and then we find Balázs, and then the whole thing really started to go to
How did you find Balázs?
another level. Oh, just by accidentally in a bus stop.
On a bus stop.
Actually, it's a tramp stop.
Tram stop.
Yeah.
Really? Just
Yeah.
sitting down on a tram, and what he was.
No, I met my friend, and I asked him that, won't you want to come to sing for the band, because we made a featuring with him, and then he said, I will not go. It was Peter, and then this guy is here. He was just there with this guy.
Oh, he was just hanging out with him.
He was hanging out,
Okay.
and he was really stoned at the time. And then I asked him, and I asked him that come to join the band, and he said, okay, let's see, send the tracks and stuff. So, and then we had like a test period for 1-2 months, and then we started to work.
Oh wow, that's crazy. And then so basically just haphazardly there was other members as well that came in that same way, or just they were already part of the band, like the guitar player that I met and some of those other guys.
We had changes with band members.
I got you.
And,
like every band generally.
Yeah,
at that early on.
and these things are from inside stories, which I don't want to
No.
really go into, because it's a sad story. Like always with bands, usually
course.
inside problems will kill the band.
Of course,
and
yes.
it's really sad story, and I'm really.
I don't want you to start crying right now, so
No,
we're
I'm
not
not
going to do that. All right, we're not going to do that. No, it's just interesting, because I think that people that are in Hungary, especially, and those are outside of the Hungary. I mean, first of all, this what we're talking about is something that's in English, number one, and I'm sure that this story has probably never been told in English per se. In Hungarian, I'm sure it's probably been told a few times, but
Yep.
and there's people that are in Hungary that are probably starting bands now, or into bands and into music, and they don't have the
Forget
insight. Oh, no. I mean,
Forget it, man.
No. It's you have to know your business. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that a takeaway from somebody like you is that you were a young guy that believed in yourself, and you were saying, look, I'm not going to leave this to somebody else to try to figure out. I need to learn as much as this business as I possibly can, so that I can have have an opportunity for success. Because a lot of people would never do that.
Well, in that time, in 1996, yeah, that time, everybody was starting like companies and stuff like that, and this media thing, the records, music business was starting to grow, and in that time it was easy. I think I could not do that this time today. I could not sign these bands today. They will not sign with me, But that time, I was the only chance, the opportunity, and there were like new things starting. Now everybody can do it by himself, but in that time there were no tools for that. So you needed a label, needed distribution, needed physical distribution.
But do you think in Hungary, do you think that truly an artist can do it online by themselves and be successful?
Well, with the know-how, which, for example, I can.
You could.
I can 100% make you a star.
Right.
If you have a little talent.
Right.
You don't need too much.
Right. Well, so that's the thing, though. But what you're saying, though, is that it takes the knowledge to do that.
Yeah, it's about knowledge, and you need a little money for that, and the knowledge.
Right. So basically, that kind of go back to your previous point, is that not everybody could do that then.
Yeah.
I mean, even it's knowing the internet and having access to it, there's other things, mechanically speaking, that you have to have knowledge about and experience and contacts about, for that matter, in order to even make it nationally, and forget about talking about internationally, because then that becomes another issue entirely in that space, right? So,
yeah, but if you have the knowledge, you can do it internationally also, I think. If you have the knowledge and you have the money and you're really working on it, you can do it. You can do it. But all the artists, they don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
They're just saying that I have it.
Yeah.
They say, I can do it, man. It's easy. I can do it. Blah, blah, blah. And then I see them like after half year, they go down like shit.
Right.
So they don't have the knowledge. And they fucking don't want to spend a dime on their fucking career. That's sad. When I tell them I had a PR company also. And then when I tell them,
A
okay,
PR
company, and I tell them, just play like 20,000 forints a month, and we do you a continuously PR that you're always on the market. Then they don't want to pay that money also. And they're like bigger bands, which like they get big money in a gigs, but they don't want to spend a dime. They're thinking, I made the music, I'm fucking star, so somebody else will put the money in it. But also in the same time, they're saying, I'm not giving shares to anybody. I don't want to give shares to anybody. So they're fucking assholes, all the fucking shit, big bands.
Well, the thing about you're dealing with musicians that are not managers. I mean, business managers. They don't know. I mean, that's why in the U.S. we always say that lawyers and record companies, they don't want to deal with musicians.
Yeah,
they have to have a manager in place, right?
Yeah, and it's basically a mental thing, and it's really hard to deal with musicians. And when I started to kind of stop my career with this thing, I just stopped it because I couldn't deal with the mental stuff anymore. It's like when you're a cop, you see too many killings. You see too many dyings and stuff like too many sorrow, too many pain, too many struggle, too many, people are busting each other. People are not correct. They're lying, and too many theater, and it was like just I had enough mentally. Physically, in all other kind of way, I could do it, but mentally, I didn't want to deal with that anymore.
When you were playing drums with the Carbonfools, did you have that mentality in your head, or were you excited about it?
When we started Carbonfools, it was just started for fun. I didn't have anything in my head at that moment, with in terms of business side. And I wanted to. When we started work with Balázs, and we started to do songs, pop songs kind of style. I wanted to sell the band to record labels, but nobody wanted to sign it. So I go to like 6 record labels, I try to, this is a good band, but it's English, so we don't sign English bands.
There were 6 record labels in Hungary at that time?
But that was like 2010 or 2010.
2000, okay. Got
something.
It.
So
okay.
It was later.
Okay.
And I went to Tom Records and all kind of CLS and all other labels, but nobody wanted to work with Carbonfools because the singing was English, the vocals was English.
So and there was no other bands singing in English at that time.
Well, there were like bands. I mean, when we started Publo Hunny in the 1996. It's hard to say this number. 1996. Yeah. So when we started. The record label, we started with Heaven Sit 7. Heaven Sit 7 was singing in English the first time. The first album was in English. But then, everybody was saying, okay, cool guys, but forget international career. You were never going to do it. And start singing Hungarian because people in Hungary, they want to listen to Hungarian music.
Right. But I'm saying, outside of your world, all the other artists were singing in Hungarian?
No, yeah.
Okay,
so not too many artists. There were like a couple of artists who sing in English, but not too many at that time.
Okay,
and then probably it was always like they released an album in English, and then they started to release another albums with Hungarian music because they realized that they couldn't reach their maximum if they sing in English.
Right, because they couldn't get the gigs.
Yeah, they couldn't get the gigs,
right.
and basically Hungary is a really. I don't know about this country because we all the time we like don't want us to be internationally successful. We just want to keep the bands for ourselves, Hungarian. But if you sing in Hungarian, you can never reach the international level. If you sing in English, you cannot reach the Hungarian people because the radio stations and basically it's not the fans, it's the people who are doing the business. They want to control it. And it's crazy. They want to control the language we are singing on. They made a law about that.
Really?
Yeah, about a law that if you are a Hungarian band and singing in English, then you don't get that royalties. Like if you're a Hungarian band and you're singing in Hungarian. Wow. So that's a fucking big difference.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. And so basically Hungary never supported the Hungarian band singing in English.
I got to make sure I understand this. So there's a law in the books that says that if you sing in Hungarian, you get this amount of money. If you sing in English, you get that amount of money, which I would imagine is considerably less.
Yeah.
How much less?
I don't know. I didn't count it.
But whatever the number is, it's less than.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's a different box.
So you're right. That's a way of not, you can't, okay, I'm not saying it's.
And if you go to a radio now, there's not too many radios now, but if you go to a radio and you present a new band who's singing in English, they will probably kick the band out because,
even in 2019.
Yeah. Even now it's harder. It's because of the regulations and the law and everything. So now it's much more focused on Hungarian lyrics. Everybody. So now all the bands you can see it now. You can see it on the market. All the bands started to sing, which were like successful singing in English. They're starting to sing Hungarian, like Iron Mafia and all the other bands. They started to sing Hungarian because otherwise they don't get to go to the radio and they cannot reach the fans. It's crazy.
Well, okay, that is crazy.
And that's why this is one of the reasons we're never going to have a worldwide star because there's no support.
Gotcha.
From Hungary.
Right. Huh. Well, then how? Then Carbonfools never sung any music in
only
England?
One time when this law became to realize the people, then we made our hit Hideaway Hungarian with Hungarian lyrics, but only for fun. It was for a message for the people only.
So that
and we made a Hungarian lyrics.
You made a Hungarian version of it,
yeah,
because it was an English song. I remember.
Yeah,
hearing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
we made a Hungarian version, but it was like a funny lyric. It was like a really stupid lyric. We just translated word by word the English lyric, and we put it on the song, and we released it, and the people could hear that this is English, man. You have to listen to it English because I think for pop music the language is English.
Right.
Come on. Okay. So
well, the thing about it is that I've been to gigs with you guys where you had like tons of crowds in front of you, countless crowds, and the songs, every song that you've played was in English, and your hit songs especially, I saw the audience singing the words in English.
Yeah, so it's not about the fans because the young generations they most of the young people are starting to learn English or know English or speak English, so they're not into that, But they will be not into radio also. They will be not into fucking law. Tell me what to like or not or whatever. They don't give a shit about government and stuff like that. They just want to listen to music, and I don't think they care about it that it's English or Hungarian. But if you're pushing, all the time the Hungarian, the pushing it, then okay, you can wash their brain. Yeah, you can wash it. But today everything is washing our brain. So. Be smart.
Yeah. Well, was it safe to assume that the Carbonfools was the most successful band that sung in English? That its lyrics were in English in Hungary?
That was a moment. Yeah, I think.
There's other bands that sing in English now?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Wow, that's crazy, man. That is crazy.
Oh, we kind of had a in that time we had the success, and then other bands like. Motivated by that,
got it.
To sing in English.
So you guys basically broke the gates to come through
in a way
to kind of do that.
And that was cool, but we then we split. So then
like it's the story of stories, the splitting aspects of bands. I mean, it just kind of happens, man. But it seems like it did good. It did you good though, because you're I don't know, you seem happier now. Yeah.
I when you continuously tour, you're continuously in the business, you're under pressure to do a bigger thing, to do a better thing, to do more success, to do more money, so you are in a wheel. And you don't have time to think about yourself. You don't have time who hurt you, who not hurt you, what's your traumas, and what your mental thing is in life. You just don't stop. And it's the same thing with managers and basically all the business people or all the like artists who have have a business in the back of them, and they don't stop. So basically the end is like you go drug addict or alcoholic or commit suicide or whatever, because you need to stop. I mean, not to stop like for 1 month or 2 months. That's not enough. You need to stop for years to understand what happened with me.
You need to move out of the country and move to Spain, and
not necessarily, but I did that.
Right.
But it's not necessary. It helps. But before that, it was 4 years ago when I was so I had to think like 2 years at home. You know, what happened in my life and what should I do? And I was still I still had contracts with the record label, so I couldn't quit at that moment. I had to finish the contracts because I always finish the contracts. And then I had like another 2 years to think about things. And it was really cool because I had to realize that I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to go on shitty clubs to play tours, and I don't want to go into this wheel again. This continuously work, do another song, do a hit, do a blah, do the. I still love playing drums though, but I don't need the struggle with
You still love writing?
Writing.
Yeah, like songwriting and all that stuff?
Yeah, and that was another thing because I started to play guitar and I started to write my own songs. And I started to work with Balázs with a lot of songs. So now I have like 40 songs, but basically none is really finished yet.
Okay.
So I'm still working on it. But I had the opportunity to learn from engineers, and I had the opportunity to work at home, and I have and I started to understand how it works, the arrangement stuff, and because before I only made music like I started with a drum beat or a groove, and I started to thinking always like a drummer. You know,
Gotcha.
like I want to make a good groove and then put something on it. But now it changed. I want to make a good harmony, and then I want to make a good melody, and the groove is basically the last thing which comes into
The reverse of it, yeah.
the reverse of it, and then I think you can make much better songs.
Gotcha.
That way.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that instead of the business, instead of the touring, I start to studio. Yeah, I made a studio also. I made in this 4 year, I made like 3 studios
In Spain.
One in Spain, one in Brody Studios.
Oh, that's right.
One in Almaty Square. So like that's like 3 studios.
Actually, you still have that one over there on the
Yeah. And also we made a school.
Oh,
made
that's
a
right.
1G school, which
Okay.
was really successful. Like we teach the Ableton Live and softwares, and
You still is that school still active?
no, there was a guy, my partner, and he fucked up, so I didn't want to carry on with that.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
now it's basically over. But maybe next year or whatever.
Hey man, I got
what
it.
happened.
I think you got so much knowledge and expertise about things, man. And I like the space that you're in right now. I mean, you really feel like, I don't know, before you left to Spain, you seemed like you were good.
Yeah.
But you felt like, it seemed to me that you had still like a burden on you.
Yeah, I had, and it was really hard. And first I had to understand what happened, and then I had to understand myself. You know, what happened with me? How do I react for these things? For example, sometimes I started to react like when I had a bad time or something. I went to bars and start to drink, really hard, and that was not an answer. I had to realize, and I had to. I was thinking maybe I'm an alcoholist or a drug addict, and then I had to realize I'm not. I just had like fucking big traumas, and I have to solve it out. And if I don't have traumas, don't have stress, I can keep my drinking and drug thingy in a normal level. So that was the understanding of myself and the things around me. And then I realized that I have to kill all the fucking stress around me.
Got it.
So I have to change my life the way I don't have stress. I still like to do music. I like to work with people, and I want to work as a label also in the future, but with much less intentions and much less stress, much less like around, just doing it all the day. And so basically, I'm kind of a retired musician and whatever, but I still want to do. There was like 3 months I didn't do anything. I was just like sitting in our favorite bar in Paprika and just speaking about things with people and having friends around me and just having a good time. I didn't have the urge to do something. But after 1.5 years, I felt I want to do something. I'm still young. I don't want to retire full.
Right.
Just like a semi-retiring or something.
So you want to be in the music business as a musician and less of a record company any longer, right? Or do you still have that?
At the moment, I have one new artist signed
on G Records.
1G Records, yeah. We just
really
signed a contract.
When did that happen?
Oh, well, it was in Spain. There was an English guy, he was like sitting, he I don't know how he got into this little village, but he kind of heard from people and stuff like that. He went to Orgiva, because you have to know about this place that this place has the biggest hippie colony in Europe. They have the Beneficio, it's one big hippie village.
Okay.
It's
how do you spell this? How do you spell this city?
Which city?
The city that you're talking about. In Spain. This is the city in Spain. Oh, are you talking about a band, or are you talking about? I always get confused.
No, I'm talking about a hippie village.
Okay, yes,
called Beneficio.
Let's look that up. I'm over here on the internet. Let's see.
It's near Orgiva.
Let's take a look here.
So it's one of the biggest hippie colony in Europe, I think, and many musicians go there and artists. They want to go to retire. For a vacation. Sorry. So first they want to go to vacation, but then they realize that there are many people out there. Even we met like underground English. There are lots of English people and old retired English musicians like Orb, or Youth, the producer, or we had there's a big studio there, and we went to parties with these guys, and there's a scene there basically. Okay. But it's like
a 24 person scene.
24 person.
Yeah, you said it's for 24 people that live in the village.
I'm speaking about other villages where
there's other villages around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, like everybody's kin.
Yeah.
So how do you spell the name of this?
Beneficio.
PH or F?
F.
It should be coming up here.
I think.
I don't.
Wait. Okay. I put the Orgiva.
Yeah, we're just trying to check out. I'm very curious about the name of the city. Here, that's it right there? Granada. Okay. So that's it there. Wow. Oh, okay.
That's the place. And there's like old hippies around it.
That whole region.
Granada. Granada is really good with art.
Okay.
Stuff like that. You have like
it's a larger city. It looks like based on the font
and everything. So it's like really developing now.
Okay.
And like many artists go there because Spain is really cool in many ways.